Financial inclusion means everything in a context like Uganda. The government of Uganda has this incredibly progressive refugee policy. Refugees have the right to move around freely, they have the right to work, they have the right to access land. So there's this incredible foundation for refugees to participate and contribute to the Ugandan economy. But if we want to unlock that potential, then that means we need to support refugees access financial systems as well.
Financial inclusion is ensuring that refugees have equitable access to appropriate and affordable financial services despite or irrespective of their legal status or background. For example, refugees should be able to access formal financial systems, manage their own resources, pursue economic opportunities while building their own self-reliance.
I do see a big shift in how different partners within this space approach financial inclusion. I think in the beginning it used to be seen as a little bit of an add-on, but now partners are increasingly thinking in more integrated approaches.
We've seen financial inclusion evolve within over time, and we've seen digital payment systems, including electronic payments, mobile money services, but also agency banking services extend to the refugee space.
It's about 10 years ago since humanitarian partners first started piloting cash in the refugee response. And fast forward to today, cash is now the preferred modality in locations where markets are functioning.
Previously, most of the aid was going in form of in-kind, whereby different actors or humanitarian organizations would directly deliver the assistance to refugees. But over time, I have seen different organizations, including the World Food Programme, delivering assistance using digital payment. This helps us to transfer cash assistance directly to their own accounts, and they are able to use these accounts to build their own credit history, which helps link them to formal financial services.
I think what we've seen over the past 10 years is a shift first from in-kind to cash, and later on from cash assistance to more integrated cash programming, where we not only provide refugees with cash assistance, but we combine that with access to formal financial institutions, with access to products and services tailored to the refugees, and with financial literacy trainings to enable refugees to better manage their own finances. If we support them at the same time with starting savings, opening up bank accounts, and that really becomes a stepping stone for longer term objectives such as self-reliance and resilience. Digital tools completely changed the game. So before, physical distance to banks was such a big barrier for refugees to be able to access credit, open up bank accounts, etc. So it was very difficult to bank refugees, let's say 10 years ago. But with mobile money today, it's now possible for refugees to save, to transact, even receive humanitarian assistance directly on their mobile money, in their mobile money wallets.
Shifting towards digital payment is an approach that is working very well. Then also the financial literacy trainings that are enabling refugees not only understand the Ugandan currency, but be able to manage it and use it, invest it. That also has been a very good opportunity and an approach that has worked. So in terms of financial inclusion, the journey is still on, but at least we've seen refugees access the basic financial services and products. We have seen organizations come together to bring refugees together to form village lending and saving associations that help in building trust among the refugees, but also financial capabilities.
What I think has been one of the successful approaches in Uganda is the effort that has gone into linking village saving and loans associations with financial service institutions such as banks. Because as soon as these associations are linked up with the banks, then we see people able to start deposit their money, access credit, and start building a credit score, which enables them to invest in their livelihoods in the longer term.
And with the National Financial Inclusion Strategy 2023-2028, we have seen a lot of humanitarian actors piggyback on that to drive, working with the government to drive financial inclusion for the refugees. So partnership has been a pivot point for which financial inclusion is being accelerated for refugees in Uganda.
The way that this collaboration has impacted the refugees is that not only are refugees able to access financial services and products, but these services and products actually meet the needs of the refugee population.
Some of the changes, noticeable changes that we have seen, and we appreciate the government of Uganda for promoting that, is the use of alternative identification documents. So that is a big noticeable change and the entry point to financial inclusion, because if you do not have an account, then there is no other step you can take towards financial inclusion. So that is a very big step.
One of the milestones that I'm seeing, which was really spearheaded by the Cash Working Group, was the development of these minimum standards for financial literacy trainings, which helped heighten the quality of the financial education in the refugee response. So the future that I would like to see is a future where everyone, regardless of whether it's a refugee or a Ugandan national, has access to the financial services and products they need to be able to engage with and contribute meaningfully to the Ugandan economy.
There is still need for strong collaboration between the humanitarian actors, the government, and the private sector to drive financial inclusion in Uganda. Humanitarian organizations alone, we cannot drive financial inclusion. We also hinge on the opportunities that financial service providers bring along by offering these services and extending these services to the refugees. The future of financial inclusion in the next 5 to 10 years is a refugee community that is self-reliant because they have access to all these financial services. We only need to continue the support, especially as the humanitarian actors, the government and the private sector, to enable them reach the stage of self-reliance.